Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2. I am Matt the StarCraft, and this is going to be on IC Cup Test Bug between Nerchio, our red Zerg, and our yellow Terran EmpireKas. Last game, EmpireKas dominating, making it look like it was just a game to him. Surprisingly, who would want to make this a game? Just dominating Nerchio. Nerchio tried to do a Baneling bust, and so it did a little bit of damage, but his second wave of Banelings was kind of all forced on the bunker instead of getting to EmpireKas' mineral line, which effectively costed him the early game and just was not able to catch up from there on in. And EmpireKas just kind of dominating with his Marine Siege Tank Force and Medivacs, of course. So this is going to be, as I said, Game 2. We'll see who takes the cake. Will Nerchio be able to come back and tie it up 1-1 to bring it to the third game, or will EmpireKas take this game and just destroy Nerchio at 2-0 deficit? We will find out. Curious what kind of opening we'll see from Nerchio, as last was a quick expansion. It was hatch first, followed by pool gas, and into a third as soon as he found out, more or less. He waited to take the third after his attempted Baneling bust, so after his Baneling bust had failed, he did go for that third, and but it was quickly denied by a drop. He was forced to cancel and then forced to build it again, all the while Nerchio just kind of being contained rather by EmpireKas with drops, multiple drops at different fronts. That is some of the power of the Terran. You can just contain your enemy if you know how to drop well, and if you do it well. Just dropping all over the place, just making his army jump from place to place, expansion to expansion. So, as always, guys, feel free to subscribe, as it would help me out greatly. Go check out the Spanishiwa video, as the Spanishiwa video is going to tell you there how to win a free coaching lesson with Spanishiwa. That ends on August 1st. You must leave a comment as to your league and why you want to win this lesson, and I will choose on August 1st, and that week I will let you know who has won. That week, Spanishiwa will be at MLG Anaheim. He is practicing all this week, which is why I have not been able to find many replays at all of him. And when he comes back, excuse me, I'm choking on my own spit. When he comes back from MLG Anaheim, that's when we'll set up the coaching lesson for you guys. So I'm super excited about that. I've been having a good time. I've got some really cool giveaways I'm looking forward to giving to you guys. I'm looking forward to talking about that after this is all said and done. So, yeah, so let's see what happens. We are going to be doing expansion first from Nerchio to go into the pool gas, and on EmpireKas' side, it looks like we're dropping the barracks orbital followed by a factory. So definitely a different opening than we did see last game, as it was 1 rack's expansion and 2 more racks to wall off the front. We'll see what happens from there. My cat is jumping up on my lap, so pardon me. Now that my cat is super comfortable, I can move on. So, dropping a factory down right away. Maybe we'll see, this could be potentially early Hellions. It could go into a 1-1-1 build. That's the great thing about Terran, is you could do whatever you see fit. Dropping a reactor, so potentially early Hellion play. If he decides to swap the barracks with the factory, that wouldn't be surprising whatsoever. He is going to be doing some very early pressure here with a SCV. Potentially dropping down a bunker. Yes, dropping down that bunker, but 4 Zerglings might be able to stop this well before the Marines get here, scaring him off. Yes, is going to stop that, force the cancel, but here come the Marines to reinforce that, all the while taking out those 2 Zerglings. Going to try and drop another bunker here. Is he going to? No, he's going to go in for a scout. Is he just kind of feigning a bunker rush, potentially, which is actually something you never see, which is something that is, I should say, never see too often. What I meant to say is something that you should see more often, as feigning attacks can force a Zerg to continually build army instead of drones and waste their minerals on something like static defenses early in the game when they don't want to, as they would love to continue droning up, but it looks like he was only forced to make the 4 Zerglings he had, and doesn't have to worry too much about anything else. He did see they backed off and decided the only thing he really needed was a spine crawler, as there were not many Marines there. There were only 3. Whoops, losing a little scroll action. Does have this placed right outside his expansion to see if he does take that expansion and when. Marines popping out here just to see if he can find the Overlord, and they will, but the Overlord quickly escaping before then. Feeling a little bit safe, and another rack's dropping down. We are going for very early siege tanks, it looks like. So that's actually going to be fun to watch. 2 barracks and 1 factory with siege tank production. He does not have siege tech going down, so potentially very early pressure. If we take a look, he isn't that far behind in the worker count, so Not necessarily a bad thing. Gonna be dropping now a starport for more medevacs to support that Marine. So yeah, this is again, it's doing his similar style of Marine siege tank build, but doing it in such a way that it's actually gonna be pushing out a little bit earlier, it looks like, to try and catch Nerchio a little off foot, a little off beat, as Nerchio himself is, if you take a look at the production tab, really only has those Zerglings he originally built and is continuing to drone up. He is now almost 10 ahead in the worker count. Building a wall, as you typically see a Zerg do on this map, you can wall off with your own buildings here. Jacobo really doesn't like what is going on, saying, you know what, this is not fun, screw these guys, I'm going home, and he does. And now he's moving out with a good contingent of of Marines with a couple of siege tanks and SCVs to do some reparations or repairs, and going to be dropping some bunkers, I guarantee it. And now Nerchio is not looking like he's going to be ready for this. Only a few Zerglings. He's going to see it right now, and just going to continue the run on by. He looks like he's going to do a little counterattack here as he drops his bunkers right at the edge of the creep, well before the creep drops. The Zerglings were going to come back to try and defend, but decided against it as it would be a waste. And now, I don't know, this is not looking good for Nerchio. He's going to have to start pumping out a lot of units. If he can force this and hold this back, he'll be in, pretty decent shape, as he is quite ahead in the worker count right now. But this could do a lot of damage, and the siege tech is done. He is taking out that Roach Warren, which is not something you want to lose right now, as the Roaches could do a lot of damage to the Marines when they decide to push, but can't really do anything about pulling back his spine crawler. Going to put it a little bit closer to the hatchery, so that way it doesn't get outranged or ranged by the siege tanks. Would have to force those siege tanks to unsiege, but he's going to be leapfrogging it. And now you can see they will both be hitting that Roach Warren to finish it off. The Roaches and everything just ganging up on the drones, feeling a little bit worried. 2 kills rather, for that spine crawler. And now it's just gonna be a matter of time. He's gonna have to make a good push. He's gonna have to do a lot of damage with the push and stop this. Otherwise, it's gonna be GG for Nerchio. Pulling up his spine crawler again. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing with it, as it is he could really use this right now. Yeah, it's gonna be a standoff. Very interesting. In here, we do have his Zerglings are being killed off by the Marines. He does have reinforcements coming in. But after that, he decided, screw it, I need to push down before the reinforcements get here. Moving in with a lot of Roaches and Zerglings who are going straight for the siege tank. But all those bunkers are full of Marines. 2 of them are down now. Both Queens getting involved, burrowing that spine crawler. And there goes the siege tank. And now he might be able to hold this off with that spine crawler to look. Those Queens there to be able to transfuse and keep those Roaches alive if they have the energy for it. Doesn't look like they do. But here are the reinforcements. The siege tank, the Marines, they aren't able to push in. He was able to push them back a good amount, but not good enough. And at this point, he is looking a little bit worse for wear. We'll see if he's able to do it, as his economy can't support a good chunk of Roaches with the amount of gas he has. He's going to have to rely heavily on Zerglings, and Zerglings against siege tank Marines fall apart like paper getting soaking wet. That was a terrible analogy, but you can see it happening right now. There we go, going right against the Marines, and only going to be a few Roaches left, as those Zerglings were quickly cleaned up. 2 Roaches left. Moving on back, and EmpireKas is going to move in and just finish the job, and says, look at these. This is kind of a tauntish type thing when you bring this many SCVs. It's kind of all-in-ish, but it's also saying I don't need all these SCVs. They are just a waste of space. I'll use them to attack. And now Nerchio forced to bring all of his drones as well to try and fend this off, but I think it looks like EmpireKas is going to come out on top on this fight. And yes, all those drones are dead, and now there is no coming back. Taking a look at the worker count, it is 18 to 17, so they're actually pretty even in the worker count. But he has an army, and Nerchio does not. And that looks like, I'm not sure how we can come back from this. I really don't. Maybe if he had gotten a Baneling's Nest up during that attack, but well, now it looks like EmpireKas is going to Damaga. Nerchio saying good luck with Damaga, and GGing and bouncing. So, good game. EmpireKas was able to sweep it 2-0. And as always, guys, thank you for watching my cast. I'll see you guys next cast, and please don't forget to subscribe.